Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. We are kicking off Memorial Day weekend, which makes this an interesting week for consumer activity. While next week is the shorter week and Monday's the holiday, we do tend to see the holiday effect the week prior to Memorial Day a little bit more so than the week after Memorial Day. People start getting in that vacation holiday weekend mode early. So even if they are out and active and working still, I'm finding people tend to do the bare minimum this week, at least once we get towards the end of the week. While they still might be showing up to work, the extracurriculars such as shopping for a house and things like that tend to take a back seat. So let's take a look at this week's stats, see how they might differ and might be affected by the holiday. So this past week, these are the stats for Morristown, Chatham, Madison, Harding, Mars Plains, Mendham, Chester, Bernardsville, Basking Ridge, and Randolph. Now, not surprisingly, we only saw 30 homes come in the market this past week in these towns. That's a 55% decrease over the prior week. That does not surprise me at all. I'm dealing with a lot of sellers right now who were ready to put their house on this past week and are waiting until next week. A lot of them not only do not want to have their house go on the market during the week prior to the holiday weekend, where they're at least believe they'd get less viewers and less activity, but primarily most of the showings happen over the weekend, which would be this weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend. And a lot of the sellers, whether real or just anticipated, don't want to take the risk that people are away on vacation or participating in more leisure activities and not showing up to take a look at their house. So we saw a significant decrease in new listings come on this last week. I'm expecting to see that jump up pretty much back to normal next week, and if not, the week after for sure. But we'll have to wait and see. Out of these, 27 were single-family houses and 10 were condos or townhouses. The average list price of these homes was $2,189,000. The town with the highest average list price was Chester this past week at $5.9 million. And that they only had one house come in the market, and that house was listed at $5.9 million. But we see some pretty strong list prices this past week. Second place was Bernardsville with another home that came on the market, just one home, at $3.3 million. And then Chatham, we saw 3 homes come into the market, and those were at $2.29 million was the average list price there. And then Madison, we saw 1 home come into the market at $1.95 million. So we saw quite a few homes come on the market at that luxury market price point this past week. So that is certainly interesting to see. Average list price was up 98% this past week for homes in these towns. Total inventory is currently 245 homes actively on the market. Morristown, Basking Ridge has the highest total inventory currently with 44 homes actively on the market. And then Morristown and Morris Township is tied for second place with Mendham at 38 homes actively on the market. Total homes on the market is a 9% increase over the prior week. And actually, surprisingly, most of these towns saw a slight decrease in homes actively on the market, but a significant increase in active listings in Basking Ridge really skewed that number for this past week. Total sold homes. We saw 27 homes sell this past week. We saw 2 towns with no home sell, which was once again Mars Plains and then Chester. However, we saw a lot of towns with 2, 3, and even 5 homes sell this past week. Sold homes is up 8% over the prior week. Average list price of homes sold this past week was $1,020,000, and the average sale price was $1,117,000. So average list to sale ratio this past week, homes sold for an average of 8.9% above list price in these towns. The only town that saw homes sell under list price was Mendham, with homes selling 1.7% below list price. Otherwise, we saw homes selling substantially above list price, anywhere from Randolph with just 1.3% above list price, all the way up to Madison with homes selling at 19.5% above list price, and Bernardsville with homes selling at 19.3% above list price. So once again, a very divided market. Do be prepared for some substantial bidding wars. Not every home is selling crazy above list price. I am seeing more homes than we've been used to selling at close to or maybe even slightly below list price, but plenty of homes also are still selling substantially above list price. So be prepared for that bidding war, but it's not necessarily a given with every single house like we were seeing for a while. Days on market, homes that sold were on the market for an average of 18 days. That's a 10% increase over the prior week. But once again, that's largely due to Mendham. Mendham, we saw a 64% increase in days on market, but all of the other towns, we saw a rather substantial decrease in days on market. Under contract, we saw 43 homes go under contract in these towns, leaders being Basking Ridge with 10 and Morristown and Township with 9. Overall, that's a 7% decrease in total homes going under contract from last week. The average list price is $1,074,000 for homes that went under contract. And the median days on market for homes that went under contract this past week was 18 days on market, which is a 12% increase over the prior week. So I hope that you all have a phenomenal Memorial Day weekend. Do make sure you take some time out from your activities to remember those who made the greatest sacrifice to defend our country, our freedoms, and this lifestyle that we so greatly enjoy. And I'll catch you guys again next week.